Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my latest playthrough. It's Super Mario 3D World, and I really need to focus this thing. But you may be asking, there's two games here. Which one am I gonna play? Short answer, both. But for today, I think I'll start with this one. Because it's, the more simple and straightforward one. And this is the first video of the year. A couple months ago, I was considering throwing this channel in the can because... No, I don't want to play... No, I don't want to play Super Luigi Bros. Also, I deleted most of my save files to make room for this because, this ain't the first time I've played this game. And probably won't be the last either. And, yeah, you'll notice there's a character select screen, but for right now I'm playing as Mario. I have a specific order in which I like to choose the characters, but sometimes I mix it up. Anyway, the story. Mario and the gang are walking along enjoying the fireworks when they notice a weird-looking pipe. So the Mario Bros. Do what they do best and fix the pipe. And then out of it comes a bunch of the game's assets. And this little thing called a Sprixie Princess, who got most of her siblings, except for, well, her. And then Bowser comes back to finish the job. Yeah, intro's pretty self-explanatory. I wanted something quick and simple for the first video of the year. So, yeah. They went down the clear pipe, and now they're here. Kind of paralleling how Mario and the others got into this situation in the first place. Like, in most adaptations, there's one of two theories. One of them is the old 80s theory that is the old 80s origin story that they were plumbers in Brooklyn until one fateful day where they both got sucked into the Mushroom Kingdom. Technically, in the first game, Mario Bros., the Mushroom Kingdom came to them. Or maybe those monsters from Mario Bros. Were like a separate entity. I don't know. Anyway, they ended up in the Mushroom Kingdom and decided to stay because... Does the game really think I need a tutorial that badly? I'm not 5! Excuse me for a moment. Here we go. At least this... Anyway, Super Bell Hill. Let's go! Just give me a moment. Now then, it's okay that I wasted a little bit of time because this level's so damn easy. Like, unless you're trying to die, it's like probably the hardest level to die on. And even then, you can just jump over the edge there. But what psychopath would want to do that, right? I say as I almost fall over the edge. It's good to be like this again. You know, this is why I held off making videos until the new year, because, you know, I have a feeling this is going to be a good one. I mean, some people are kind of down on it. Some think that the years ahead are only going to get worse before they get better, but I'm hopeful. You know what? I'm hopeful. Is it wrong to have hope in this time? In the present day? I guess we can only wait and see, huh? Anyway, 2 green stars. Why don't we go for the stamp first before we go to my favorite part of the level? You'll see what it is, especially for those of you who haven't played the game yet. Which, by the way, if you haven't, you should. It's a great game. I get why you might not want to, because, you know, it's in 3D Land, and 3D Land was kinda... But I actually like 3D Land. At least growing up. Coming back to it now, I feel like it might not have held up the best. But, well. To each his own and all that. Anyway, yeah, spare Katsu in case you wanted it, and extra life. And there's an extra life back there, so... yeah, it all kind of works out. Yeah, so my favorite part of the level is, you know, turning into a giant and smashing everything, but... other than that, you know, the level's pretty easy. I mean, I did spend 5 minutes on it, but most of it I was, you know, AFK, so I could probably get through it a lot faster if I wanted to. I mean, it's the first level, and wow, I think I might have had more. I think maybe that big thing of pop might have been a mistake. Anyway, Koopa Troopa Cave. And this is where the character rotation kind of comes in. Like I said, I try to switch between characters depending on which one might fit the specifications of the stage, but I have a specific order in mind. I usually have a specific order in mind. Anyway, there's actually a really good infinite lives trick that I'll show you right here. Just hold the button and you can get as many lives as you want. I'm only gonna get about 100 because that's all you really need at this point in the game. It's not like... But trust me, there's some really hard levels ahead. There's like some really hard levels in the special worlds where you'll be glad to have it. Where you'll be glad to have that many lives. The veterans will probably tell you more about it, but there's this one Champions Road. Oh boy! It's been like 5 years and I still haven't beat that shit! Anyway. Yeah, which reminds me, this year is actually the 5th anniversary of when this game came to Nintendo Switch. It's actually pretty cool. Ah, that's more like it. Anyway, I got a checkpoint to get, so... Yeah, I've been thinking it over, and I've wanted to end my channel for a couple years now, but I think I'm gonna hold out a bit longer. I mean, this year's like, what, the 7th anniversary of the channel? This year's like the 7th anniversary of the channel. I know that because the last one I did was the 6th anniversary of the channel. Back in November. I was kind of all over the place in that episode. Yeah, but I've privated most of the videos in hopes of getting another chance to do better this year. I've privated most of those videos in the hopes of getting another chance to do better this year. I think I missed a green star. Hang on for a sec. Dude, mystery box always means a green star. Why are you such an... Because I was in the middle of my conversation and forgot about it. But I mean, like... I'm hoping that 2026 will be another boom year for me, because 2021 may have not been a lot of people's good year, but it was a good year for me. I mean, I fell into a lot of different things that usually boom years are when I fall into all kinds of different things, and it helps my creative flow, and it usually helps my creative flow. Like in 2021, I got into stuff like Kid Cosmic and Friday Night Funkin' and Regular Show. Great show, by the way, Regular Show. I hear they're coming out with a spin-off for it soon, but that's all I've really heard. They say it's supposed to be out in February, but I think... They say it's supposed to be out in... I think they said, like, last year it was supposed to be out in February, but... I think they might have meant that for, like, this year. I'm pretty sure we'll get more information on it soon. In 2023, well... boom years are defined by two things. When I get into things and when I pick up on things. That year, I really picked up on One Piece, because I actually got into One Piece, I think, in, like, 2020, and then kept it going through, like, the better part of 2021, and then I finally got to the good part, which is, like, I think somewhere in, like, the 200-300s, somewhere in, like, the late 200s, early 300s. There's a sweet spot there, and trust me, some of the best episodes in the series. There is a sweet spot in One Piece, and there are some of the... Over there are some of the best episodes in the series. Like, Foxy Pirate Crew all the way to, like... I would say the best episodes in the series are, like... Foxy Pirate Crew all the way to the end of the last part of Water 7, which is Goodbye Going Merry. Great episodes all around, really. There's like one part of One Piece you should watch. It should really be that. I mean, watching it beforehand is important too. I'm actually re-watching it, and I just got past Alabasta. Like, literally, the episode I left off on is where Nico Robin joins the crew, so, yeah. She was working with Crocodile all this time, and that's because she's a wanted felon for reasons I won't go into here. Seriously, watch the show if you haven't. Besides, you got time. I mean, I'm not sure if it's enough time to watch all 1,000 episodes. 1,100 something episodes. 1,100 or 1,200 something episodes before the return in, what was it, March? April? When did they say Elbaf was coming out? No, I remember now, it was April. But I mean, yeah. But to be fair, I've been started on this since, like, I don't know, September? Since, like, October, November. I think if anyone's gonna get to a decent point before the series picks back up, it's gonna be me. Also, they announced that the end of Egghead is going to be the last time we see... The end of Egghead is going to be the last time the series is weekly for the remainder of its durability. Which sucks, but I get it. Health concerns, you know, after Toriyama's death, I'm pretty sure Oda's wondering to himself how much time he has, because I've heard stories of health concerns and shit like that. That's not all I've heard about Shiro Oda's fractured life, though. I mean, you don't make a manga that lasts 20 years without leaving some things behind. Anyway, Mount Beepole. And I may have been wrong when I said 20, it's more like 25 at this point, but whatever. It's more like 25 at this point. 25 plus anyway, but essentially. You get what I'm saying, right? You may think that Blue Toad is the best for this situation, but there's actually a specific level up ahead I'm saving him for, so... But there's a specific level up ahead I'm saving him for, so yeah. Trust me, he really shines in that one. Remember, I've played this game before. That's usually the way I like to do it, though I am willing to make exception. I don't know if I've said this before. Oh, I have. Usually I like to play games I've played at least once before on the channel, but there are times I'm willing to make an exception. Like if it's a new game I'm just really excited to play, or is really popular, and I want to check out for myself. Like Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm sorry I wasn't able to capture as much of that as I wanted to, but... Turns out my phone didn't record as much as I hoped it would, so... I was kinda up a creek on that one. Yeah. It wasn't the best situation, but I think I learned a lot from it. Which is pretty much last year in a nutshell. I mean, I know I wasn't the only one who had a kinda crap 2025. I know for a fact I wasn't the only one who had a crap 2025. There were things that helped, though. With the new Superman, that was a good one. We even already announced a sequel! Supergirl. I haven't seen the trip. I've heard that there's even a trailer out for it. I haven't seen it yet, but... they can do the same... they can do as good of a job as they did with the last one. I'm sold. I mean... I know it's kind of a calculated risk taking, like, one of Marvel's best directors and throwing him into a DC situation, but... I think they're doing pretty good with it so far. So I'm gonna stick around with it and see where this thing goes. Yeah. Also, it's literally impossible to get everything in one go in this level, so I might have to do 2 sessions. Yeah. Speaking of the MCU... yeah, I haven't been that interested. I mean, it just feels like all of Marvel's entertainment priorities revolve around it. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it feels like 90% MCU and like 80 or 90% MCU and then like 10 or 20% is left to everything else. I hope that doesn't mean that... I just really hope that doesn't mean they cut corners with X-Men 97 Season 2, because I actually got into that pretty hard, and I would really hate for them to trip up this late in the game. Anyway, let's go get that. Let's go get that spam. Yeah. But I mean, I am probably gonna check out Avengers Doomsday. Even if, you know... yeah. Even if it, you know, might end up sucking. Because I'm looking at it one of 2 ways. One, if it's good, maybe I'll have a reason to get back into it. 2, if it sucks, hey, at least I can say that I've sworn it off forever, right? Which I'm pretty sure there are people at this moment saying the exact same thing themselves. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to take another gulp of Dr. Pepper before I start this level. Anyway, yeah, that's the level I was... This is the level I was talking about when I said there's a level in particular where Blue Toad really shines. I meant this one, you know. His speed lets him cover everything quickly. Sorry, I was on a bit of a kick destroying those boxes. What a ride. I wish they gave you an extra point bonus for finishing in time with the music, but... oh well. Hey, at least I pulled it off. That's better than I do in most times I play it. I'm also glad they found a new use for the stamps, because I'll show you in a moment. Actually, you know what? I'll show you after we beat World 1. Because, I don't know if you know my video format, but I prefer to, you know... Captain Toad goes forth. At about 30 minutes into the video. I think we're doing pretty good for time, all things considered. Captain Toad, in case you missed it, it said that Captain Toad is the so-called fearless hunter of green stars. We know that's a lie. In Mario Galaxy, in most of the 3D Mario games, he's the afraid one who pushes Mario to the front and says, "You first." We know that's a damn lie. In most of the Mario games, he's the one who pushes Mario to the front and says, "You first!" But I guess, you know, he kind of has to face his fears here because, you know, he's the one getting the green stars. And again, he's the one running from those cute little bitty buddy guys, and those guys don't even have, like, arms. It's like physically impossible to get hurt from them unless you, like, purposefully bump into them. Like, seriously, if there was, like, a little plush version of them, I would so be on top of it. I only got all the green stars. Except for, well... don't worry, help's on the way. I even brought in the cavalry! Oh man, that was close. Yeah. I'm not one of those people who just inherently... I mean... I know the Switch 2 has had a fairly complicated life thus far. Yeah, I know. It hasn't even been like a year. I mean, it hasn't even been a year since it was like officially revealed. And people are already calling. And there are people. I'm not sure if they're just butthurt assholes who. I'm not sure if they're just butthurt dipshits who can't afford it, or people who genuinely think it's a piece of crap. But, I think the people calling it out are a little bit of both. I've already had to end 2 Newgrounds relationships over it, Newgrounds friendships over it, and it's just hard all over. I keep hoping that there will be something to fix it, but it never comes. I guess this must have been what people like me felt during the Wii U era. I keep hoping to myself that this isn't gonna be another Wii U case, but what if I'm wrong? What if I've been wrong since the beginning, and what if I've been wrong since the beginning and I just can't bring myself to admit it? What if I've been wrong since the beginning and I just can't bring myself to admit it? The last 20 years of my life have all been a waste because I grew up at the end of Nintendo's golden age and watched ignorantly and childishly as they just faded away and became like literally every other game company. I mean, you never see people calling other companies out on this sort of thing. Like Xbox or Sony. Like Xbox or PlayStation. Like the people in Microsoft who manage Xbox or the people at Sony who manage PlayStation. I get why people say that, and it isn't just the whole Mario Kart World versus Sonic Racing Cross Worlds thing. I mean, that has influenced my opinions about the issue, but yeah. Look, I get why people say it's better. More characters, more variety. More unique scenarios. And with the new Mario Tennis game on the way, what's it called again? Oh yeah, Mario Tennis Fever on the way. I'm afraid it's just going to be the same situation again. Because it just looks like it's primed to take another fall the same way Mario Kart World did. A bloated roster with zero soul and a game that looks like they... and a game story that looks like they spent maybe a month developing it, and then just said, "We tried." Is this what to expect? What there is to expect from Nintendo from now on? If that was the case, maybe I should have just packed up my Switch 2 already and... I'm afraid is all. That's what it is. I'm afraid. No, I'm terrified. That all of this, all of it, the last few years of my life has all been for naught. Expecting Nintendo to finally come to their sense. I've spent the last couple years expecting Nintendo to finally come to their senses and do something, and what do? More of the same bullshit. All they do is just amplify the bullshit. If this console fails, it's gonna be... I cannot live through another... If this console falls through, I don't think I can live with myself. And unless the next console looks infinitely better in every conceivable way, I don't know. I don't know anymore. I think the caffeine high's starting to crash now. I think I'm starting to crash from the caffeine high now. I need a couple minutes to myself. Sorry that was much longer than a minute, but I think I pulled myself through. Anyway, let's go kick this boss's ass so we can go to World 2. Come on, Bowser, I'm not afraid of you. There's a power up. I just gotta keep stalling for time and then... See, I knew there was a power-up up there. Now this fight can really begin. See, if you hit Bowser up there... See, if you hit Bowser, that means he takes the hit and not his car. It allows you to skip to a whole other phase, or end the fight even quicker. I was basically just stalling for time. Most of that boss battle, I was just stalling for time. The camera's reading 2 minutes, even though when I add this together, this will be something like 45, if I had to guess, minutes into the video. Maybe even like close to an hour. That's why I'm trying to... Because part of my new process with these videos is that I'm going to try to edit them as much as possible, too. So that way I can have more pride in my work than just putting it up on the screen and saying, "There, I tried." Because that's what most of what my videos have been for the last couple of years, and, you know, it's no better than what Nintendo does. No better than what people accuse Nintendo of doing these days. Even me, what can I say? My faith's shaken, not stirred. While we're on the topic of shaken, not stirred, did you hear they're adding a ton of James Bond movies to Netflix? I think part of that is because, you know, they finally run out of good ideas for originals. But hey, don't blame me, as the people who wrote The Electric State. Wow, on World 2 already, and it's only 10 p.m. You know, I could be done with this I could actually be done with this before midnight. And I think I might be. Just give me a sec. Okay, second over. World 2-1, Contour Canyon. Let's fucking go! Yeah. Seen any good movies lately? There aren't a lot of good modern Hollywood movies these days. I haven't heard anything good come out of a foreign film market since Godzilla -1, so I don't know. Oh, speaking of which, you hear they're making another one? They're calling it Godzilla -0. I guess in that case, it's probably like a retelling of the original Godzilla, because that's the only thing I can think of when I think of -0. Because normally 0 isn't subtractable, so... like, hell, if you put it into a literally any calculator, even old-ass Texas Instrument ones, they'll just give you an error. So, I presume the new movie's probably gonna be like a retelling of the 54 one. Probably gonna be like a retelling of the 54 one. It's gonna be pretty cool, and I presume it's gonna be coming out at it's probably gonna be coming out, like, next year, if I had to guess. So that would put it probably in the same time frame as the new Godzilla X Kong. Because, yeah, there's supposed to be another one of those, too. They're calling it Supernova, and... actually looks pretty cool. heard they've already started filming, but they might be up to more than that by now. I haven't checked in a while. I think the last time I checked was like September? I know how much time and money it takes to make a film, and I respect the people who do that. Really. Unless it goes to something shitty. Like, literally. I remember watching Wreck-It Ralph 2 as a kid, watching the special features, and thinking to myself, damn, they're trying really hard to justify the existence of this monstrosity. Same with Incredibles 2, and so many others. Yeah, 2018 was not a good year for animation. Let me put it this way. It's what started the infamous 7 Deadly Frames joke. I've tried to get people to drop it since, but nobody wants to listen to me. Damn you, Netflix. You used to be cool, man. What the hell happened? Oh yeah, speaking of what the hell happened, they ended Stranger Things recently. And the ending is ass. Ugh. I don't know what's worse. The fact that so many shows are started nowadays, or the fact that no one knows how to end them. Like, Stranger Things went on for over a decade, and no one could be bothered to give it a proper finale. Netflix dragged out the hype for as long as it could go, and nothing. Literally nothing. They focus so much of their time, energy, and money on it, when it could be better spent on so many different things, and oh my god, I owe a huge apology to my mom. I know how touch controls work. I try to avoid using them as much as possible because they're a bit of a pain in the ass. I know, damn it. Sorry, again. Touch control's a bit of a pain to use. These were originally built for the Wii U gamepad, and I am not holding a Wii U gamepad, so yeah. This is why it's beneficial to bring a cat suit into the level. No wonder this thing was able to take down Donkey Kong in the movie. I mean, look at its power yet maneuverability. Yeah. That's Mercenary, a friend of mine. He's a friend from school, but for anonymity, whatever's sake, we're not gonna say his real name. But he's a good friend of mine. Well, best Lower Peninsula friend, because I live in Michigan, and if you know anything about Michigan, you'd know that there's two parts of it. An Upper Peninsula and a Lower Peninsula. It's also the only state in the U.S. like that. Freaky, you know? And, you know, I loved living in the Upper Peninsula. But then Dad moved down here, and... But then Dad had to... But then Dad had to snap that bird leg of his, and that ostrich leg of his, and... We had to move down to this hellhole. That bird leg of his, and move down to this hellhole. Well, for the first year or two, I wouldn't complain. For the first year or two, I wouldn't have complained. First year, I understood the situation. Second one, we basically got a mansion to ourselves. But then after that, things just really started going south. I'm not going to get into details because it's kind of personal, but stuff happened, and now we're down. And now we're in the middle of Kalamazoo, which should be an upgrade, right? Wrong! Because instead, Dad picks the most backwater alley. The most backwater alley he can find. The most rats and... This rat's nest of drywall. This rat's nest of drywall and... And the worst part is, we're stuck here. We've been here for a year now, and Dad doesn't even seem to be trying to find a new house. I get that the housing market's kind of a mess, but that's been since that damn recession. And that happened when I was 2! Look, not that I'm trying to rush him along, but I know you, Dad, and I know you can do better. Seriously. And I know he is probably still looking, but hasn't found anything yet. I mean, I'm not saying it has to be exactly like our house in Battle Creek, or hell, even in Marquette, just anything with more room than this cracker shack. You're welcome, Captain Toad. Always a shining pillar of bravery, ain't ya? New Mario Maker. You know what I really want from this console? A new Mario Maker. Yes, I'm serious. Mario Maker was a great game. Mario Maker 2 was a great game. I will hear no arguments on this. And you'll see why I picked Mario here in a moment. Because of this thing right here. It's a character switch. It basically means if you want the stamp, you have to play as a specific character. There's one for each of the characters. So it's important to memorize who... So if you're playing this, it's important to memorize who goes where. It's part of the reason why I'm glad I've played this before. Part of the reason why I'm so glad I've played this game before. Because I remember where everything is. For the most part. And the stuff I don't know, well, we'll find out that together, huh? Like, you know, I've always wanted to beat... Like, you know, I've always wanted to beat the special. Like, I've always wanted to be... I've never done it before, but I think I feel lucky this... But I feel lucky this year. But you want to know something? I feel lucky this year. I got a good feeling about this year. And you know what? Maybe if I am able to pull it off. Oh god, I just thought of something. I don't just have to beat it once. I have to beat it 5 times. 5 times! I'm not even sure if using the golden Tanuki leaf counts, so... If that doesn't work, I'm up a creek. Seriously. You know, with that, I got the green star. Yeah, maybe it'll also be a good sign. Look, tell you what. I'll cut you a deal. Because this year's the 3-year anniversary of Super Mario Bros. Wonder, if they announce a Super Mario Bros. Wonder, if they announce Super Mario Maker 3 in any of this year's directs or events or whatever, I will do a Super Mario Bros. Wonder playthrough. And I mean, before I end the channel, I mean it. Hell, I will literally drop what I am doing to do it. Even if it's this. Oh, right, this guy. I know the different characters have different characteristics. Oh, fuck! We'll slather Judas and Lube and have Jesus fuck him! I did it! Somehow! Oh god. I thought of that one in my head. Was just waiting for the right moment to use it. I thought of that one in my head and was just waiting for the right moment to use it. If you liked it, say it. Tell me if you liked it in the comments. Look, come on, I got a better... You gotta admit I got a better sense of comedy than anyone who writes for Family Guy these days, though. Okay? Regardless of whether you liked it or not, you gotta admit that. Then again, that's a very low standard to hold myself to, so... Double cherry pass. I would say Peach is the best one to use here. Between the clones and her hover ability, you can cover a lot of ground. Between the clones, fireballs, and hover ability, you can cover a ton of ground. Actually, it would be more like Triple Peach. Or Peachy, or whatever you said. Sometimes it's not easy to decipher what the Mario characters are saying. Stupid lack of subtitles. Well, to be fair, most of Peach's voice lines in games that are, not this, or came out before this, are mainly her just crying out for Mario, so, I don't know, not that high of a standard. Perfect, we're still rolling. I was a little worried that the camera turned off for a second. I was talking to no one, but I see the sphere was ungrounded. As soon as I'm done with this world, I'm going straight to bed so I can get up tomorrow and edit it. Oh, maybe I should have one of them ground pound it. I got a little worried for a sec there, but I got it. Oh wow, if you act fast, the fire bro battle at the end is super easy. The platform says 4. How adorable! Anyway, another course down. All that's left is the castle. But anyway, yeah, that stuff I said about me hoping Nintendo's next big game is Mario Maker 3, all true. I've actually been hoping for a Mario Maker 3 for a while now. I mean, they missed their chance last year. They kind of missed their chance last year. Because first of all, that was the 40th anniversary. Second, it was the 10th anniversary of the original. And thirdly, the year prior, that was the 5th anniversary of 2. But I'm really crossing my fingers for this year. Look. I'll put it like this, okay? If there isn't a Mario Maker game or something else to keep me, then I fold. I'm gonna finish up these playthroughs and get off YouTube. But if they can make it worth my while, then maybe I'll stay for a while longer. I've said things to myself like, if Nintendo doesn't pull through, like, I did this to myself in September, and then I did this to myself over the holidays, and then I did this over the holidays, and it's just been a whole thing. But I'm hoping this will be the last one. Besides, Nintendo usually has, like, some kind of direct early in the year, so I'm hopeful, okay? Either they'll pull it off, or maybe I'll just wave bye-bye to them forever. It's like the Doomsday game. It's like the Avengers Doomsday Gambit. Speaking of which, another reason I'm hoping that X-Men 97 does well, I kind of want a new Marvel vs. Capcom, not gonna lie. I mean, over the last few months I've been playing the collection and working my way up, and all the games seem really fun. Even Children of the Atom, and that one was the pain in the ass one. Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck! Alright, the mother tank! And my second chance. Time to kick your ass, Boom Boom. Kinda excited that he's in the new tennis game. I guess it kinda off-balances the fact that Pom Pom was in Super Mario Party. The old one, not the new one. Why don't they just call it Super Mario Party 2? Because it kind of feels like they've just been moving away from the numbered series as much as possible. I don't know why, but I kind of have mixed opinions about it. Don't worry, Yellow Sprixie Princess, I'm coming! You're welcome. But even if they don't do the Super Mario Maker 3, I'm probably gonna keep making videos. Like I said, I got a lot planned for this year, and that's even before Nintendo announces anything. Well, I don't think I said that before, but yes, I do got a lot planned this year. In fact, part of my goals is to properly send off this channel. So yeah, anyway, that's it, and I'll see you next time. Once we go through this pipe, World 3 will start, but unfortunately, that's really all the time we have for this video, so I'm gonna by the way, in case you didn't hear it, I am going to be doing Bowser's Fury alongside this, so don't miss that either. The first 10 cat shines will be done as soon as I'm done editing the next part of 3D World. Will be done as soon as I'm done editing the first part of this. As soon as I'm done editing the second part of 3D World, because I'm probably going to do 2 parts of 3D World first, and then I'm going to move on to Bowser's Fury. So, yeah, don't miss that. Anyway, goodbye everyone, and I'll see you next time.